I'm Carol Angela Davis. Do you know where your food comes from? California's roughly 400,000 agricultural workers, folks. They pick 2/3 of the country's fruits and nuts and 1/3 of the country's vegetables. That's right, folks. Those are the last hands to touch your food before it gets to you. And you need to think about that, and you need to think about them. Our farm workers are deemed essential, but folks, they do not have the proper protections in place to keep them safe in a COVID-19 world, or frankly, in any world. They work in very big crowds. I know you've seen the fields, so I know that you know how many people are in the fields, and you know how closely they have to work together. The coronavirus stimulus package does support agriculture businesses, but it does not support the workers that are essential to get that food supply from the field to the table, okay? They pick the produce. These workers are lucky if they get minimum wage, and many have no health insurance, and you know that's not right. With that in mind, the farming-intensive spring picking season is about to begin, in California, at the same time that COVID-19 cases are expected to spike. An outbreak in the farm worker community could be devastating, not only for the farm workers and their families, but also for you, for your food supply. And that brings me to our slay word, contumacious, for willfully disobedient. Folks, civil disobedience in a democracy, it is your responsibility to be contumacious when the rules or the actions just don't make sense when it comes to keeping us safe. And they don't make sense in the case of our farm workers, all right? They are an aging labor force, people. They have facing higher rates of respiratory disease. You know how much dust and pesticides are out in those fields. They're facing higher rates of respiratory disease and hypertension. All of these are factors that could make them, if they have a case of COVID-19, it could kill them. And everybody knows it. Let's not play around. The masks that they need to keep them safe from the dust and the pesticides, folks, those are the same masks that would protect them against COVID-19. They're also the same masks that are in short supply all over the world. Who do you think is going to get those masks first? You think they're going to give them to the farm workers? Okay, if they valued their lives, they'd give them health insurance, and they would also make sure that they at least got minimum wage. So we have to force this down their throat. And you know what? When you get that strawberry, and let me tell you this, we know a lot of them are undocumented, but let me say this to you, because I know when you get that strawberry and you put it on your salad, or you plop it down your throat and shove it right down your throat and eat it, guess what, people? You don't ask whether an undocumented hand picked it, so let's not play that game. The bottom line is they're humans, they're helping us, they're working here in this country, they're doing an honest day's work, and we need to shove something down the throat of the lawmakers, and that is health insurance, and at least a minimum wage for these workers. Now, though growers and labor contractors say they are working to keep the workers socially distanced and to keep common facilities sanitized, the workers say, nah, that's not really true, okay? According to the United Farm Workers of America, workers say they are very scared about not having the proper protections, about the fact that they don't have health insurance, and about the fact that they don't even have unemployment insurance, people. Remember that between 60 and 75% of them are undocumented, folks, okay? And there's 400,000 in California. 60 to 70% are undocumented, so they are not being treated fairly, and they don't have the health insurance that they need to stay safe. The United Farm Workers of America estimates only about 10,000 of them are unionized, okay? And they're calling for more sick pay, for greater protections for them, and for more information given out to workers in the field so they know what's going on with the coronavirus. The California Farm Workers Foundation says this, and I quote, "Workers are ridiculed in case you're wondering whether or not they're going to go to the doctor if they get sick." Okay, this is what the California Farm Workers Foundation says, quote, "Workers are ridiculed for even trying to use sick pay." Okay, they're asked if they have a doctor's note, but of course, since they don't have health care, of course they don't have a doctor's note, or sometimes they just flat out deny them, unquote. All right, folks? That's what you're dealing with. That's how they're treating the people that are the last hands to touch your food, that are also human beings, that are working for all of us. So we need to work to keep them safe. So the next time you shove the strawberry down your throat, let's think about the laws that we can shove down the throats of our lawmakers to make them keep this population safe and pay them a fair wage. It is amazing what COVID-19 has unearthed in our system here in the great capitalist American society, where we are the best example that capitalism can actually go too far. And we've got to rein it in, because it is not just about the money. It is also about humanity and about people and about families. And we know about the billionaires. For the most part, they don't get that, and they don't care. Not all of them, but a lot of them. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thanks for watching. Wash your hands.